Greetings, Glitter Gang, and welcome back to Kathryn Scraps Live. My name is Kathryn, and today we're going to be scrapping live with the Measy Spring Pock-Velope album, or the Spring Pocket album. It is right here, and where we left off is we had totally matted all the pockets with our spring/summer papers, and we had also kind of designed and made the tag bases, but we hadn't done anything with the tags yet. So that's kind of where we are. So what we're going to be working on today is what we're going to be doing with the tags. And if you're here for the first time, thank you for joining us. This is a show that happens at 2 o'clock Eastern USA time and 9 o'clock Eastern USA time on Thursdays. Today is Thursday, May 11th. Welcome to the show. I craft alive from beginning to end albums that you can put photos in. And that's what we're going to be doing today. So the first thing that we have is to plan what we're going to do with these inserts. So in terms of photo mats, so each page has 1, 2, 3, I think there's one in here as well, 4. Okay, 4 inserts. So this is available in the archives as well as on YouTube as a YouTube playlist. So if you've just stumbled across this video on YouTube and you want to see the rest of the album, from the planning stages to the construction to the matting, all of it is available in the spring album playlist. Okay, so here are my stamps, and here are some kinds of photo mats, but these are, I think, predominantly leftovers from other projects, but that doesn't mean we can't just use at least some of them. And I'll probably need to use the stamps later. All right, so this stamp set is our stamp set, everyday stamp set, available from KathrynScraps.com. It is linked in the video description if you would like to check it out, but it does make you can stamp like this. It comes with different images to use here. This one is just a camera because that's just the most everyday-ish, but there's also a cake, map, and a baby onesie, and then you have 4 different fonts, 2 serif and 2 sans serif, and then all the different photo sizes. So it's a good way to make photo placeholder mats, especially if you give a lot of gifts, albums, or if you sell your albums. It helps people understand what they're looking at when they're looking at your album. Okay, so I think this one was designed to hold 2 photos. This one will also on each side, so that's 4 total. This one will hold 2 as well, so that's 6. This one will hold 2 as well, so that's 8. This one will hold 1, 2, so that's 10. Oh, and we could even put a photo on the back if we wanted to. That would be 11. Let's just do 10. So it's 4 horizontal, 2 vertical, 6 horizontal, 2 vertical, 7 horizontal, 8, 3 vertical. 7 horizontal, 3 vertical, for a total of 7 times 6 is 35, question mark, what? That's 35, right? I'm just going to get a calculator. 3 times 6 is 18. So we need 18 portrait. I've always had trouble with 7 times 6. I'm not confident about it at all. It's 42. Okay, that sounds more correct. Something about in the times tables, the 7s, I really struggled with those growing up. Okay, not that you're surprised that I have calculation struggles. But that's going to give us a total of 60 4x6 photos in this album. So that's good. All right, so that means we need 42 landscapes and 18 portraits, which means that these are not going to cut it, these little leftovers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut some cardstock, and, or wait, I don't need to cut cardstock. Did I find my photo mats ever? Let's see, they're not in. By the way, if you just got blasted with wind, we've created a little wind tunnel in here to bring the AC from the window unit back to the corner where I work. And so it's created a little wind tunnel. Okay, it's not immediately obvious to me where my photo mats are. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab cardstock. And to grab the cardstock, I have to stand in the wind tunnel. So we're really putting the windscreen on my microphone to the test today. And intern Liza is making angry eyes at me because she's the one who created the wind tunnel to be nice. So now she's shaking her head. She's like, that's the last time I'll do something nice for you. Does that look white? Nope. All right, so to get 60, we can get 4 to a sheet. So 60 divided by 4 is 15. So, oh yeah, no, duh, I knew that. Okay, so we need 15 sheets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. All right, 15 sheets. This is the white from ColorMate Smooth and Silky, available from thepapermillstore.com. And now we're gonna cut these. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut them down to 10.5. And then 10.5-inch squares, and then we'll do a pinwheel. So I hope you all had a great weekend and are having a wonderful week so far. Our brother was here over the weekend, so we got to see him for a little bit. He wasn't here very long, but he did stop in and see the place. So now he knows what our house looks like. So yeah, he had a little bit of a long weekend, and his girlfriend was out of town, so he decided to come say hi, kind of on a little last minute trip. He drove down, said it's a really easy drive. Just take pretty much 95 until Interstate 20, and then you take Interstate 20. So it's not complicated at all, which is nice for anyone who wants to visit us from the DC area, or for us visiting people in the DC area. He didn't put up the shelves, but that's okay. He was really only here one full day, so he was here part of 2 days and 1 full day. So it was a very quick visit, it was nice, you know. No one had any time to get sick of each other. His health is much improved, so he's pretty much back to normal. Probably better than normal, because he's had to make some healthy lifestyle changes because of it. So he actually looked better than he did before everything happened. So that was very comforting. All right, so now that these have been cut to 10.5-inch squares, we can do a pinwheel. It's just not a 5x7 pinwheel. It's a 4 1/4 by 6 1/4 pinwheel. So it's the same principle, except instead of 5 and 5, we do 4 1/4 and 4 1/4. So, wow, this is a lot of photo mats. It's a nice big opportunities here. So any of these 4x6 spaces can be used for photos, but they can also be used for journaling spots. They can be used for cards. Like 4x6 cards from your collections, the decorative cards. So maybe what I should have done is cut, well, we can cross this bridge when we come to it. I was just thinking maybe I should have cut some extra so that we can okay, finish your thought. To cut some extra so that we can mat photo 4x6 cards, because these are 4 1/4 by 6 1/4, but it's not a big deal. We can always cut those as we need them if we find 4x6 cards we want to use. And as part of this process of working on the inserts and matting the inserts, we're definitely going to look at the cards from our various different collections and see what we can use. So these are 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. And they're cut from a 10.5-inch square. So if you want to make 4 1/4 by 6 1/4 mats, you can get that from a 10.5-inch square. So I finished The Road to Jonestown. I didn't like it. I don't think it's the type of nonfiction for me. So it was actually very useful in teaching me, you know, that I need from nonfiction, I need narrative nonfiction. So I need someone to tell me a story of how a guy from Indiana ends up as a cult leader in Guyana. You know, like, I don't just want you to tell me like the timeline list of every single fact in his life. You know, you can leave some stuff out. Like I got very bored at one point because it was just a huge section where his church was just churching, you know. They were just doing stuff, and I was like, this is not advancing me towards like the end. Like, this is just telling me what they did in their day-to-day lives, you know. So that didn't work for me. Now that might work for some people. I can totally see that there are people who would despise nonfiction that was an author kind of editorializing a tale, you know, and they just want the facts so that they can make their own judgments. And so it's good that all different kinds of nonfiction exist. And it's also good that I was able to so clearly see, you know, that I am like an Eric Larson type of nonfiction versus a John Gwynne type of nonfiction. Or at least I think that's the author's name. So. But that was that. Let's see. We had a roll of wallpaper, peel and stick wallpaper. And we tried to use it to cover the mini fridge that's now in the office, so it would be cuter. And what a disaster that is. I don't know if it was because the fridge is bent and therefore not square, or if because the wallpaper was cheap and not square and kind of stretchy. But it was like more bubbles and wrinkles than flat. Like, it was a nightmare. We tried a couple different ways, and then I said we're gonna have to just get it painted if we want it to be cuter. We're just gonna have to get it painted. Now I did learn that any place that does automotive paint usually does appliances. So if you do want someone to paint your appliance and make it cuter, there's probably someone in your town that can do it. It's just a matter of, you know, you got to get your appliance over there, which with a mini fridge is not that big of a deal. But like if you wanted to paint, say, for example, in this room, we have a mini fridge, a chest freezer, and a full-sized freezer combo. So if we wanted to paint them all like a fun turquoise color, you know, and then we also learned you can use towel bars as appliance handles, so you can get rid of the appliances the handles that they come with and use towel bars instead, so you can get fun handles as well. So we could do that, but, you know, again, we would have to take them to a place where they could be painted. But that's because I found out those places just have painting booths set up to paint the cars, so they're always like set up to paint large objects, and as long as you're not trying to paint something significantly bigger than a car, they can probably do it. So I thought that was an interesting thing to learn. But That's a project for down the road a little bit, I think. Well, the mini fridge we might paint ourselves. We looked up the how to do it online already, so we'll see. But I still haven't totally unpacked every single box yet, so I think that may get pushed down the road. Wow, what a stack of photo mats we have happening here. So many photo mats. Okay. So once again, this is a 10.5 inch square, 10.5 inches, and we're doing a 4 1/4 inch pinwheel. So putting the paper at 4 1/4 inches and then cutting up to 4 1/4 inches. It's the same as the 5x7 pinwheel. It's just not 5x7, but it's the same idea. All right. Okay, so now we have to tape these. So what I'm going to do is divide them into 6 stacks, and then we'll just tape one stack at a time when we do each page. Wow, this one is a strange size, which means there's probably another one in here that's a strange size. I'm sure oh, here it is. All right, that's unfortunate because we only had exactly enough, so let me cut one more sheet. All right. And I'm going to go ahead and, since I already have to cut again, I'm going to cut 3 more because 3 is the size of a stack that my big trimmer can cut cleanly. So I might as well just cut 3 more, and then we'll have a few extra for anything else that may happen. All right. So, all right. So Mr. Lifeguard has started running again. He's getting used to running on hills because, you know, most places in the United States are hillier than Florida, and specifically this area, like the neighborhood is very hilly. As you know, our house is on a hill, you know, so it's a very hilly area, and we are so he's gonna have to he's used to Florida, which is very, very flat, very flat. Florida's the only state that doesn't have a mountain. And the highest point in Florida is 300 and some feet above sea level. And that is technically a hill. So, yeah, definitely a different experience. but he's gonna get there. But one of the things about painting appliances yourself are that appliance paint colors are somewhat limited compared to automotive paint colors. And automotive paint is very expensive to buy, like as a person. So at that point, you might want to just get people who specialize in automotive painting to do it for you if you can't find the color you're looking for in appliance paints. So, all right, so now we're just gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're gonna make our 6 stacks. Oh wow, this is gonna be okay. Wow. It's hard because the Fiskars trimmer makes kind of raggedy edges, so it's kind of like, oh yeah, just put 10 in each stack. It's too bad that there's a delay between when you guys chat things and I see them, because that would have been better in the beginning of this project than what I'm doing for sure. All right. And then there's the last one. Okay, so now we've got all of our stacks. All right, we can do the taping. Now we're going to tape them 1 stack at a time. All right, so I'm going to tape these in 2 stacks of 5. That's right. Like, why don't we just play poker instead of crafting? Okay, so now I'm going to, let me ink them and then tape them. Let me do that. That'll be a little bit smarter. They just are not ink, but you know, stamp, because they work a little bit better when they're and I'm going to use I'm going to do I'm using the old stamp. This is not the new stamp. This is the old stamp, but I just happen to have 2 of them right here. So I'm going to go ahead and use it. And then I can stamp 2 at a time. So, and I need to set 3 aside to be stamped vertically. So let me go ahead and all right, and my open VersaFine I don't see, so I'm just gonna open a new one because I do have an unopened one in my backup ink drawer. So we'll go ahead and use that. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do two stacks worth. Yeah, if I use the old stamp, I can do 2 at a time, and that'll save some time. I'm going to go ahead and I think all right, so that's 6. What I'm going to do is, all right, there's the 3 for the vertical. Here's the 1, 2, 3 for the vertical from that set. So what we're going to end up with, I'm just going to do them all at once. Let's just get it over with. But yeah, so this album, this particular part, again, is part of a larger album. You can see the whole playlist either in the archives or on YouTube. And all the measurements for everything have been given. We've shown everything from the planning to the construction to the matting, so it's all there. Yeah. The old stamp is still available as a digital, and if you have a wide format printer, oh, wouldn't that be the best, Sally? Sally Ann says they need to invent a Xyron that just prints the outside of a photomat. Yes, I would pay like huge amounts of money for that. All right, so here's the next stack. So we take 3 off the top. And then what we're going to do is once we've done all of the ones that aren't these 3, so once we've done all the horizontal ones, then we'll flip the stamps so that they are stamping vertically. I'm just going to remove this paper now that I know where to print, because it has a little curl in the corner, so it's time for me to replace it. But this kind of thing, you know, get yourself a nice, yummy beverage, put on your favorite movie, and then you just do a bunch of these all at once so you just have them. That's always good. I have some. I just don't know where they are. So and because it's 7 and 3, every other time you do it, you know, you're going to get to where you just have one left. So then you just go 1, 2, 3, and then you've got your next set, and you can just keep going. And you can do this with the new stamp set, of course, but you would just need 2 sets. But like I said, the old stamp set, which is this stamp you see right here, is available digitally. And what you can do is you can set up a 10.5-inch square in Photoshop to print this, if you have a wide format printer, to print this on that 10.5-inch square, so that when you cut it on the pinwheel, they are already, you know, quote unquote stamped, basically. So they already have the mat on them. I guess if you got the big Misty and you had 4 stamp sets, you could also do 4 at once. But at that point, you know, that would be a way to do it if you didn't want to get a wide format printer. 1, 2, 3 off the top. But one thing that doing a big stack early on in the process can do is keeps you in the zone creatively when you go to be decorating and matting your tags and filling your pockets and such, because you don't have to stop and do this. This is also a really good task for an audiobook. I find I enjoy listening to audiobooks the most when I'm doing something that's very repetitive like this, that I don't have to think too hard when I'm doing it. All right, and then 1, 2, 3 last time. All right. Almost done. And then we'll be flipping the stamps to stamp vertically. All right, final horizontal. All right, so now we're gonna tidy. So I'm just gonna grab a wipe and clean up the MISTI, and then we will rearrange and make these, I mean, these stamps are never gonna get clean because they're photopolymer, so they stain. So. But they will at least be not covered in ink, so I can handle them. All right, so it's the same process. Okay, so what I have here is a 4 1/4 inch square with the stamp stamped on it, and I put it at 1 inch on the mat. Okay, and then what I'll do is I can just take the stamp and line it up with the stamped image. And then pick it up and then do the same thing up here. And basically what I did to make this 4 1/4 inch square is I centered the stamp, because our stamps are made on square backgrounds so that they line up with each other. I was able to just measure. So here is the stamp set uncut, and you can see how they're all in a column. They're all the same width, and they're all rectangular or square depending on what makes sense for the image. So you can, that's on purpose. You can use this square collar. We leave these, that's what this part of the stamp is called, the collar. We leave our collar square so that you can easily line things up, and you can easily measure and figure out like where exactly to put it. And then once you figured out where exactly to put it on one, you only need to keep that. I just keep it in the MISTI. That way I always know where it is. And so that way you just always have kind of a way to quickly and easily make photo mats in the MISTI. And you don't have to like lay it out and measure every time. Okay, you only have to center it once, and then you just have that, and you can always have it. And then I also, as you can see from there, I stamped one of the MISTI sheets with one in one direction and one in the other, so that I would also have that, and I just leave that in the MISTI as well, although I need to make a new one because that's, like I said, with the old stamp. So, and it has a curl in it, so things on top of it don't lay flat anymore. But you can really utilize the MISTI well for this kind of stuff and get, you know, just get yourself all set up and just do it for one movie, and you'll have so many photo mats. You'll have photo mats for a bunch of projects. But anyway, so we have been watching Taskmaster, which is a British TV show, but you can watch the full episodes on YouTube. So that's where we watch it. And the kind of premise of the show is the comedians Greg Davies and Alex Horn are the taskmaster and his assistant, and they set ridiculous tasks for other comedians to accomplish to get crappy prizes. And they have to bring in the prizes themselves. So they don't even have the possibility of getting anything like good. So, but it's very funny. And occasionally just like brilliant, like really brilliantly creative. So, but he's so mean to them. It's so funny. And these are people who have been his friends for like 15, 20 years. And he's just, it's just mean. So check it out. If you want a lot of, you might recognize a lot of the people on it because like if you watch Great British Bake Off, for example, 2 of the hosts have been on Taskmaster different seasons. But one of the original hosts and one of the newer hosts. So, all right, we made it. We made it to the end of the photo mats. Oh my gosh. Okay. But yeah, definitely check it out. It's really, that's very funny. Then, let's see what else. I was thinking maybe I want to get back into watching K-dramas because I was thinking I wanted something kind of soapy, you know, and dramatic and fun like that in that way. So I know Netflix has a bunch of them now to choose from. But if any of you have favorites, let me know. Because I haven't watched K-dramas in probably 10 years, I would say. So I'm way out of the loop. I have no idea what's cool right now. But yeah, I just want to watch something very dramatic. Alright, so now we have to just tape. We're going to just do a tape ladder. So I put the tape around my wrist like a bracelet. And then that way I can just kind of tape several of them at once. And it's just a little bit faster than going all the way around the edge of one and then grabbing another one and going away all around the edge of one and grabbing another one. So, hello. So, greetings to everyone. I hope you're all having a fun afternoon and it's not too hot where you are. It's already been kind of hot here a few times, so I think we're on our way out of spring and into the hotter season. All right. My sister and I need to check out the 2 local theaters to see which one we want to sign up for their movie club with so we can start going to the movies again. definitely very interesting, like learning a new place and trying to figure out, like, you know, you get kind of settled into what all your favorites are, and then if you move, you got to get all new favorites. So we know we were really spoiled at the last place with having a really nice theater so close to our house, but you know, the good news is that traffic's not really a thing in Augusta. Now, people who've lived in Augusta all their lives probably think traffic's a thing here, because there are certainly times of the day when things move a little more slowly, but it's not really. You don't have to really plan for it, you know, not in the way you have to do in some other places. So that's nice. So even if we end up at the theater that's a little bit farther away because it would be cheaper, then it's still not going to be far. It's not like a 25-minute drive, you know. Now Marcel, interestingly enough, he really did not like having someone in the house, he's such a friendly cat. We thought that was very kind of strange, because he's the most social with humans of the cats. He's definitely the one that really wants to spend the most time with people. Like Tiny Cat, she does her own thing. You know, her mind is in a different dimension most of the time, we think. We don't think Tiny Cat spends all her time on this plane of existence, you know. So, she's off doing her own thing. Kitty likes to know where everyone is. But she definitely doesn't need, like, you paying a ton of attention to her. She just doesn't want to think she's by herself. But Marcel really wants people interacting with him all the time. So I thought it was really interesting that he was the cat that was most upset by having someone here. So, yeah. He did not really ever calm down. Yeah, exactly. Tiny Cat. Poor Tiny Cat. Melanie says, what mind? Yeah, poor Tiny Cat. Tragically born without a brain. But, I guess there's a teaching in Buddhism, or like a belief or something, that people who could go to nirvana but are choosing to be reborn, so that they can be helpful to other people, or sometimes in between lives where they're helping other people out, when they need a break, they take a break as cats. That's how they get a break, when they're in between reincarnations. So like the Dalai Lama is, you know, they're always looking for the reincarnation of the Dalai Lama when the Dalai Lama dies. The Dalai Lama could be tired, you know, and then want to take a break, and they would take a break as a cat. So that's how they believe they rest. And so sometimes we look at Tiny Cat and we're like, maybe that's what's going on with Tiny Cat, you know, maybe that's why she's so weird, you know, because she's just meditating all the time. Maybe she's just meditating. That's what she's doing. But then she'll do something and we're like, no, she's not enlightened. She's not an enlightened being. That's not the situation. Yeah, we think it might be too many changes in a short time for him, for sure. That could very well be the situation. Alright, so these I'm going to do in 7s. I did the other ones in 6s because those vertical ones are getting used in sets of 3. But these I'm going to do in 7s because they're getting used. I'd rather have 6 sets of 7 than 7 sets of 6, I guess. And they're going to get used in 7s, so... Melanie says her brother once described his dog's brain as if you put her brain on a razor's edge, it would look like a pea rolling down a 10-lane highway. Oh no, poor tiny cat. But that is it. That is it. All right. I just got a CPU warning, so just briefly, we were dropping a few frames, but it seems to have stopped. So if you did experience anything weird, I think it was just a temporary thing. Yeah, it was just a blip. Just a little blip. We didn't even drop that many frames. We dropped 0.2% of the frames. Her name was Sweetheart. Oh, that's nice. Well, you know, Tiny Cat's also very sweet, so maybe there's something to be said about the simple life. But yeah, Tiny Cats now, we rearranged the, oh, and I said I was going to do 7 and I just did 6 because that's just, you know, you just get in a loop. So I guess we'll be doing 7 sets of 6 instead of 6 sets of 7. But Tiny Cats now, there's now a footstool that it's like a storage footstool that's kind of in front of the TV. It's not like, you know, you can walk past the TV and you can see the TV, but it's just like where a coffee table would be. Wow. That was very difficult for me to explain. And I don't think you even cared. So that's interesting. But anyway, we have this storage ottoman and it's in front of the TV, and she now will sit on the storage ottoman and stare at whoever is sitting in the living room until they turn on cat TV. And her favorite is black squirrels. That's what she likes to see the most. She loves this one video that has all these little black squirrels in it. So, and if you turn it on, sometimes she will just sit there for hours and watch it. Like there have been times when she just sat there for 2 hours while I read a book, you know, and watched the squirrels. So and she knows how to ask, you know, she knows what she wants and how to tell you to do it. It's very interesting. And she just wants to sit there and watch them. She doesn't even try to bite them or attack them or anything. She just wants to watch. You know, Marcel will attack the television. Waiting for him to burst through the screen one day. But Marcel, not known for, you know, chill. You know what I mean? So. So, what projects have you completed recently that you're most excited by? And, or does anyone have any big projects coming up that they are in the planning stages of? So, like any big gift albums. Mine is we do have to make a wedding anniversary. Or not a wedding anniversary, but a wedding album for my sister. And I'm trying to decide how I want to do it. If I want to do it in the like black and white of a wedding album, or do I want to do it like we did last time where it's just really bright, fun colors like she likes? How do I want to do it? But I definitely am going to choose a digital paper collection, because I remember last time I had to go out and buy paper a few times. So that we could actually finish the whole book. Oh, and the Pulitzer Prize for fiction was awarded to 2 books this year. There was a tie, and there's never been a tie before, so this is the first time. And they just gave it to both of them. And it was Trust by Hernan Diaz, which is on my list to read, which is about a bank crash. But also Demon Copperhead by Barbara Kingsolver, which I did read, which is a modern retelling of David Copperfield, set in Appalachian Virginia. I mean, it also takes place in other parts of, like, it takes place in parts of it take place in West Virginia, parts of it take place in Tennessee, but primarily it's in Virginia. Yeah, the cats definitely have us trained, so. And I need to start looking around to kind of think about the cultural events and such, because I want to get into that again for 2024, and some things you really have to plan very far out. So and I need to get on all the kind of the right mailing lists and such, so I need to start looking into that. But man, this move, like I said before, there's something about this move that just really kicked me in the butt, you know. I just really maybe it's because we did it ourselves, like packed all the stuff and packed the truck ourselves. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe it was all the traveling and the stress of buying the house, you know, I don't know, but something about, and the downsizing and all of that. But yeah, it's really been, it's really done a number on me physically and mentally. I'm just now starting to kind of recover physically a little bit. We got our new recliners delivered, so that did help a lot. I can already feel I'm not getting I was getting these tension headaches that were turning into migraines, just horrible ones. And it was something about the way I was sitting on the couch, and nothing that I did really improved the situation. So we finally gave up and just ordered recliners. They were supposed to be here at the beginning of June, and they were delivered almost a month early. And I was so grateful for that, because it really has helped a lot with my pain. So, and I have not had those really terrible, like, locked up, like where the neck locks up and then it causes a tension headache, and then that tension headache transforms over the course of the day into a migraine, and then it's just agony. So that's helped a lot. But it's true, Pat, it was done in a very short period of time as well. Like we were talking about how we first reached out to lenders about the possibility of a mortgage and what the rates would look like and all of that right after Christmas. And we were in the house. The first day we woke up in the house was March 14th, I believe. So just 3 months. For 3 months from maybe we should buy a house to we now live in another state. And yes, we did the move ourselves as well. So my brother was here. He asked if this was our forever house, and I said, well, regardless of whether or not it's our forever house, I'm not moving furniture out of this house. So if we do sell it, it's getting sold as is. Because I'm not dealing with that driveway again. Definitely not. That is not in my destiny. That's not my destiny. Yeah, that's true too. Melanie says that it's also mentally draining because you have to think of all the things to do with the house because it is your responsibility. And that's true too. So yeah, like I know I'm not quite 100% in a routine, ready to like tackle larger projects yet. But we are getting there. So but yeah, I have, it's been a lot. So we'll see, but luckily the cats seem to be adjusting. Everyone's adjusting. So Whew. Yeah, so I want to plan, so like I said, we got the wedding album, and we're gonna at least get some pictures printed to use in the largest of the Hip to Be Square albums, so that there'll be a wedding album of some kind. And then the only question is, do I want to do a really big wedding album, you know, with like all the bells and whistles like we did for the last wedding, or not. So I'm gonna have to think on that, but certainly we're gonna do a wedding album in the Hip to Be Square series. So we're gonna do the next one, which is the medium-sized one, is gonna be Father's Day, and then the one after that is gonna be the wedding one. So and I just need, I think I want to do it brighter colors. I do. I think that's what I want to do. I don't know that I want to do it like with necessarily a very specifically wedding themed black and white kind of collection. Guess I can look around and see if there are romantic or wedding collections that aren't kind of black, white, ivory, you know. That'll be something to look for. Because the wedding was, I mean, she did wear a white dress, but it was very kind of more bright and such. So we'll see. We'll see. Like Mr. Lifeguard wore a coral colored jacket and white pants. So, you know, it was very much like bright colors. So. Oh my gosh, finally. Wow. Okay. Wonder if I should even... we made it to the end of the photo mats, if you can believe it. All the photo mats for the whole album are done now, so at least there's that. Whew. Oh, that's true. Martha. Okay. All right. So basically, once they're in these like bracelets, okay, then, or in these chains, then you just have, all you have to do is cut them apart, and then they're taped all the way around the edge. So it's, gives you a nice stack of photos. But what I'm hoping is like to just find a collection like last time that is the right colors and the sentiments are, you know, close enough that between the sentiments in the collection and maybe some stamps, we can just have it be bright, fun, colorful. And all right. Can you believe there's still more photo mats? What the heck? Who designed this album to have so many photos in it? We don't need that many photos. My next album's gonna have 3 photos in the whole album. It's just not gonna. We can use it for like one afternoon out on the town. All right, so that's all the horizontal photos done. Deborah, the show started an hour and 20 minutes ago, but we've just been chit-chatting and making photo mats. So it's definitely you haven't missed any like super technical information that you need. Ah. Yeah, I don't know. I just always am like, I just want to get a bunch of 4x6 photos in the book. And I'm like, I could probably stop here. And then it's like, nah. We'll just keep going. I suppose that probably answers the question about whether or not I'll be able to just live with a simple, easy wedding album. Probably not, huh? All right. All right, that's all the photo mats for the whole book. So I'm going to do a recording break here. And what I'm going to do when I upload this is I'm going to just mention that it's just making photo mats. So that, you know, people know that they're not going to miss any vital information in terms of construction. So I'm going to do that now. I'm going to do the recording break and get that started uploading, and then I'll be right back. So for those of you who are watching live, just hang tight. We're going to start making these tags. Yeah, so the rest of the album is going to go much faster. Exactly. So I can dream. Yeah, I can dream about having an album with just 3 photo mats. It's not going to happen. All right, so I'm going to do a recording break here. So for those of you watching on YouTube, just if you get to this part of the video, just click to the next video in the playlist to see the rest of the album come together. If there is no next video in the playlist, then just wait a day or two and it will be up. Click the bell icon for notifications and subscribe to this channel to get notified when new videos are posted or when I'm going live. And for those of you watching in the archives, just go ahead and click to the next video to see the rest of today's class. For more information on how to access the archives, just check the video description on YouTube. And I will see you in the next one. Bye now.